Once, there was a wise saint who traveled from village to village and town to town, sharing wisdom and teaching people. He had no fixed home, no hut, no ashram, just the open road. Often he wished for a small place of his own where he could stay and continue teaching without wandering so much. One day, he heard about a generous king known for granting any request without hesitation. Many stories were told about his kindness. With hope in his heart, the saint decided to visit the king, thinking, "Maybe he will give me a small piece of land for my ashram." When the saint reached the palace, he saw a long line of people waiting to ask for favors. The king was fulfilling everyone's wishes. Finally, it was the saint's turn. The king greeted him warmly and asked, "Respected saint, how can I help you?" The saint humbly replied, "Your Majesty, I need a small piece of land to build a hut where I can live and teach." The king smiled and asked, "How much land do you need?" The saint paused, thinking, 1 acre should be enough, but since the king is so generous, maybe I should ask for 2. Or 5? No, if I'm building an ashram, why not 10 acres? Yes, 10 would be perfect. Lost in thought, he didn't answer right away. Noticing the hesitation, the king said, "Let me make it simple for you. Walk as far as you want in any direction. The land you cover before sunset will be yours. But there's one condition. You must return before the sun sets, or you will lose everything." The saint was overjoyed. What a generous offer, he thought. Without wasting a moment, he started walking. At first, he moved at a steady pace, covering a good amount of land. But soon, greed took over. "If I walk faster, I'll get even more land," he thought, and started running. Seeing this, the king sent 2 horsemen with water to ensure the saint's safety. As the saint ran through fields and forests, the horseman called out, "Saint, take a break. Drink some water." But the saint refused. "No time to stop, I must cover more ground." The sun rose higher, and the heat became unbearable, but he didn't slow down. He came across a beautiful lake and thought, "This lake should be part of my ashram." So he ran around it to claim it too. Time was slipping away, and the sun started setting. Realizing he had to return quickly, he turned around and ran as fast as he could. Exhausted but determined, he pushed himself to reach the palace in time. Just as the sun was about to disappear, he reached the palace and collapsed at the king's feet. But his body could take no more. He breathed his last. The king shook his head sadly and said, "This land was not worth your life. This story is not just about the saint. It is about all of us. We keep running after more wealth, success, and possessions, forgetting that life is not just about chasing, but also about living." The lesson here is clear. Greed and endless desires lead to exhaustion and loss. We must learn to pause, appreciate what we have, and find contentment. Life is too short to spend in a race that has no end. True happiness comes from balance, gratitude, and peace of mind, not from material gain.